What's up EFD and welcome back to Scout Report. With the season now beyond its halfway stage, errors made by some of the biggest clubs in the summer transfer window are now beginning to become even clearer. Let's take a look at three of the biggest and assess the impact they've had on this campaign. Letting go of Suarez. The final chapter in the most chaotic summer of FC Barcelona's modern history saw Luis Suarez, the club's third top scorer of all time, sold to La Liga rivals Atletico Madrid for next to nothing, with Los Colchoneros set to pay up to €6 million for him depending on if they reach the Champions League quarterfinals this season and next. One of the highest earners at the club, Suarez was on a reported €450,000 a week, and with the Blaugrana in the midst of a major financial crisis, it wasn't a huge surprise that the club had plans to get him off the wage bill. But while it was generally expected that the Uruguayan, who has recently turned 34, was nearing the end of his Barca career, the manner of his exit was a source of frustration for fans and teammates, notably Lionel Messi, who publicly criticised the club's treatment of his close friend. Told in no uncertain terms that he wasn't a part of Ronald Koeman's plans at the Camp Nou, Suarez left the club to minimal fanfare, and how his move to Atletico transpired illustrated just how calamitous Barca had become under Josep Bartomeu's presidency. According to The Guardian, the club's agreement to let Suarez go contained a number of sides that he wasn't allowed to join, including Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain, and of course Real Madrid. Atletico Madrid were not a part of this list, which ultimately made Bartomeu's attempts to block his move to the Spanish capital futile. A disastrous oversight by the club's hierarchy. The agreement also stipulated that Barca would cover the difference of Suarez's €14 million a year wages at his new club, and so are paying him around €6 million in total this season as he turns out for a direct rival, and a rival which is currently running away in the title race. In spite of the Blaugrana's mid-season upturn in form, Atleti remain 8 points clear of them with a game in hand at the time of recording, and also have a goal difference of plus 30, 6 better off than Koeman's side. And Suarez has of course played a big part in the capital club's title charge. With 16 goals and 2 assists after 17 appearances, the former Liverpool man leads La Liga for total goal contributions, scoring or assisting every 71 minutes. By comparison, Lionel Messi is averaging a goal involvement every 106 minutes. While the Argentinian maestro has been back to his best of late, his early season slump was a big factor in Barca winning just 4 and losing 4 of their opening 10 games. Messi started all but one of those matches and scored just 4 times. By contrast, Atleti hit the ground running, dropping just 4 points from a possible 30. Suarez started 6 of them and notched up 5 goals, helping build a 9-point gap between Atleti and Barca in that time. His introduction to the side has seen Simeone's men surpass expectations this term. Suarez's elite finishing ability has helped the side overperform expected goals, consistently earning wins in otherwise tight games, while his overall attacking play has got the best out of João Felix, Marcos Llorente and Angel Correa. His 3.9 shots per 90 is his best average since 2015-16, a season in which he netted 40 times in the league, while his 0.69 expected goals per 90 is a better average than anyone at Barca managed last season. Particularly impressive given the quantity of chances laid on at the Camp Nou in comparison to the Wanda Metropolitano. All of this has helped Simeone's side put together some of the best form ever seen in the Spanish top flight. If their second half of the season mirrors the first, they will match Real and Barca's joint record of 100 points. 8 years ago, the Blaugrana made a similar mistake in letting an ageing David Villa leave the Camp Nou for Atletico, with the Spaniard helping his new side knock out his former employers in the Champions League and win an unlikely La Liga crown, sealing it at the Camp Nou. By the time Barca host Atleti in their next league meeting in May, it's feasible that Suarez will have already secured Simeone his second title. Selling Hakimi. Like Barcelona, although to a far lesser degree, Real Madrid have had to cut costs in the wake of the global pandemic, spending nothing on transfers and bringing in €101 million through player sales and loans in the summer and winter windows. And there was certainly some justification for this. They'd spent over €350 million on new recruits in the summer of 2019, and the Real squad was bloated with stars who weren't getting minutes. Getting players like James Rodriguez and Gareth Bale out the door made a lot of sense, with both having been surplus to requirements for quite some time under Zinedine Zinedine Zidane. However, a move which is arguably already hurting the club is the sale of Achraf Hakimi to Inter Milan. Returning from a highly successful 2-year loan spell with Borussia Dortmund last summer, and with just a year left on his Real contract, Hakimi was sold for €40 million, a relative snip for one of Europe's most talented young players. Though question marks over his defensive capabilities meant he was always going to struggle to challenge Dani Carvajal for the right-back slot, there is no doubt over Hakimi's attributes going forward. In his final season at Dortmund, he clocked up 10 assists in the Bundesliga, more than Joshua Kimmich and Marcel Sabitzer, and also added 9 goals in all competitions as he found his groove as a wing-back. And his form has only improved in Antonio Conte's system at Inter, with 6 goals and 4 assists in under 1,500 Serie A minutes, working out to a goal involvement every 142 minutes. For comparison, he was scoring or assisting every 181 minutes in Germany. We aren't saying the Moroccan international would be producing the same output under Zidane, especially given his side doesn't operate with wing-backs, but as we saw at Dortmund, he can also be a threat when positioned further forward. Of Real's wingers this term, only Marco Asensio has played over 1,000 league minutes so far, and none of them have produced more than 4 goal involvements over halfway into the campaign. This lack of productivity on the wings is reflected in the side's overall output, with their shots per game dropping from a league best 14.8 last season to 13.3 this term. A concern when you consider their goal tally of 70 in the 1920 campaign was their second lowest return since 2007. They are on course for a similar tally this season, and unlike in 1920 when their excellent defensive performance made up for a lack of attacking output, their backline hasn't been as solid this term. They're conceding 1.1 expected goals per game compared with 0.9 last season, and ranked 10th in the league for shots faced. Zidane hasn't been helped by Eden Hazard's ongoing fitness issues and an injury to Rodrigo, who has registered 4 assists in just 420 minutes of action and creates 2.6 chances per 90. But even if the Madrid coach was unable to offer Hakimi the regular minutes he craved at the Bernabeu, the fact the club weren't able to secure a new contract or find an alternative to selling him outright without a buyback clause already looks a big mistake. After all, he was born in Madrid and had been with the club since he was 8. Having hit the ground running in Italy, Hakimi's €40 million fee looks an even bigger bargain now than it did in the summer. And if he carries on at this rate, his market value could go up by more than double in the next 18 months. Something Real could have cashed in on had they dealt with him more intelligently. Not signing Sancho. While Barcelona and Real Madrid both let go players who would have been useful to them this season, Man United failed to secure their number 1 target, a mistake which looks even bigger in light of the Red Devils' unexpected entry into the Premier League title race. A transfer saga which dominated the entire summer, Sancho's proposed move to Old Trafford looked as good as done before Dortmund and United came to loggerheads over his fee, with the English club not willing to meet BVB's €120 million valuation. During a year in which United lost out on an estimated £5 million per matchday, it's perhaps understandable that the club's owners weren't willing to smash their transfer record for the young winger. But the fact they ended the window without even an alternative to him on the right showed just how poorly managed the situation had been. And while Sancho's form dropped off early in the season, with former coach Lucien Favre suggesting he had been negatively affected by the failed move, he is once again showing Red Devils fans what they are missing. His 2.9 key passes per 90 is only topped by Bruno Fernandes in the United squad, while his 1.8 shots in the box is better than Marcus Rashford, with only Martial and Cavani beating him in this regard. His overall output has suffered as a result of that early season slump, with his tally of 17 goals and 16 assists in the league last term out of reach in 2021. However, he is still generating 0.56 expected goals and assists per 90, around the same as what he managed 2 seasons ago, and better than Rashford this term. And considering just how prolific he has been at the Westfalenstadion until now, having a slight down year at the age of 20 is hardly a major worry, especially when you consider his shot and key pass numbers are at an all-time high, and the fact he has 7 goal involvements in his last 7 league games at the time of recording. And Man United have sorely missed a creative presence on the right this season. Much like in 2019-20, Solskjaer's side, for all their unexpected success, have been lopsided in attack, with Mason Greenwood and Aaron Wan-Bissaka offering little in way of creativity, averaging just 1.4 key passes per 90 between them. Marcus Rashford and Luke Shaw, meanwhile, create a combined 3.4 chances per 90 minutes, and while Rashford has on occasion been positioned on the right to bring more balance to the forward line, it is not a long-term solution. United are currently the Premier League's top scorers, but their XG lags behind both Man City and Liverpool, and while the presence of Bruno Fernandes in the middle has made their attack less predictable, not having a creative outlet on the right still limits their options going forward. Man United came into this season with the objective of retaining their place in the Champions League, but found themselves with the opportunity to mount a serious title challenge as rivals like Chelsea and Liverpool hit the rocks. However, even in a season like this, it looks like they will probably fall short. Jadon Sancho may well have been the difference between Solskjaer's side being title pretenders and serious contenders. So that was our take on 3 of the biggest mistakes this season, but what did you make of them, and do you have any shouts yourself? Let us know in the comments below, and who knows, we may do a part 2. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave it a like, and why not stick around on EFD by checking out our video on the Bayer Leverkusen Talent Factory. Trust me, you will not regret it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.